She's brave, not because she's all knowing, but because she has a heart of a child. I think this statement is so important in today's culture where we have a lot of information that bombards our brain. And so there's this assumption that we know a lot, and we listen to blogs, we read books, we get information from news and media. And a lot of the things that we know becomes almost a bottleneck. It bombards our brain because our life is not reflecting what we know. And it's dangerous because, first of all, it's overwhelming to think of all this information that actually does not feel like our life is being transformed, and we're not seeing the results, and yet we know so much, and yet there's no language for that struggle. We just feel overwhelmed. So the key here is really about humility, to be brave enough to know that we don't have all the answers, to be brave enough to know to constantly apply the things that we think we know into actionable steps, and to trust that failure is part of our journey, to trust that it's not about perfection, rather progress. So I want women, especially mothers out there, to be brave enough to know, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. And I am going to find a role model. I am going to learn how to take actionable steps towards organizing my home, towards managing my mind, towards making bold and brave decisions, and not just read about it, but act on it. And then, like heart of a child, trust that we are going to fail along the path of growing, but that's precisely where the freedom is. To be free enough, to be brave enough to know that we can fail, that we can, at any given moment, trust that failure and not having it all figured is part of the brave journey. That to fear failure, to fear what other people think, to fear that we don't, that we need to have all the answers, puts us in a place really of anxiety and scarcity, because the reality is that we don't have all the answers, and you know that intuitively, but perhaps not have the language for it. So that is my gentle and bold challenge for you today: is have the humility to take action and trust that failure is part of the journey, and find freedom in failing, and teach your mind with a script and saying that failure is really about growth. Failure is really about growth. So the moment you fail, you know, wow, I am one step closer towards whatever it is I'm trying to achieve. But at the same time, I have grown as a woman. And that is ultimately the greatest fulfillment. If we know that we are taking one bold and brave step to becoming a better version of ourselves, then it is fulfilling. It's when we are stuck that we feel anxious and restless, because we're stuck. Just like stagnant water starts to stink, we start to feel that anxiety. So go out there and be brave enough to take action and be willing to fail, but never quitting.